say that we da ba, we da ba, we die.
Freestyle can be run anywhere there's wind. Innovative sliding tricks mean riders can show off right near the crowd. Heats are marked by 3 judges who score tricks on technical difficulty, style, diversity, and overall impression. Heats can last anywhere between 6 and 10 minutes depending on the conditions. The maximum of 2 double eliminations can be fought. Crashed moves aren't marked, and repeating the same move on the same tack can't add extra points. Only stunts pulled in the official contest area count. The standard of freestyle seems to shoot through the roof each season. The level required to advance from even the first rounds is incredible. It's often said that any of the top 25 names could take an event win if they gain momentum through the ladder. The freestyle series delivered 3 men's and 3 women's events. The ladies' fleet was no less cutthroat, and the variety of conditions on tour certainly matched the variety of styles on the water. Previously, Costa Teguise has thrown up challenging freestyle conditions from mast-high surf to flatter pure freestyle conditions on the inside Las Cucharas Reef.
Rock and roll.
Stars ringing out from the east side. The west side is on fire, but I don't care. Our flowers died 'cause there was no sunlight. The trees upon the hills now watch and stare. South is like a home, but we both know there's so much left for us to do in this life. So trust me, baby, reach up on my hand. I will, so if you don't, into the bitter end. So come on and stay with me.
The famous Franz brothers made shock exits from the first 4 single eliminations.
It's just a soon, but I promise you this right. Stars ringing out from the east side.
But many were excited about the potential comeback of none other than Ricardo Campello, who fought his way up to the final stages. However, despite a fright from Campello, Jose Estredo dug deep to secure the win after another all-Venezuelan final in the double elimination.
Trust me, baby, reach up on my hand. I will, so if you don't, into the bitter end. So come on and stay.
Kiri Tore fended off any other pretenders to defend the 3rd place spot. Anthony Runes and Marcilio Brown sprung into form in the first double elimination, but couldn't displace Tore or Estredo, who met in a tense final. Estredo was injured, but his combo moves gave him the win, even though Tore must have notched up a record amount of tricks in a heat. Campello's hopes of a fight back to the 2nd elimination were dashed. He scrapped well through 6 heats to reach the last 3, but Bonaire youngster Kiri Tore spoilt the chances of an all-Margaritan party for the final. Just prior to the final, Estredo injured his foot, but soldiered on to defeat Tore and still pull off the trademark moves such as the one-handed burner to win.
José Goyito Estredo, primera posición para el campeón de freestyle.
Actually, everybody is sailing super good. Everyone is amazing. Everyone's a hard hit.
But Goito, I have to say, his level is extremely apart from everybody else. He's just amazing. He's just doing everything he can and everything out of the box like that so easily. And he's definitely the guy to beat.
Daida Moreno fended off the new wave of ladies freestyle talent despite the standard rocketing in the offseason. Rubens Saraquita Ofringa sealed second place after halting Laura Trebau's remarkable fight back in its tracks.
Harder and tighter, speaker and brighter, straighter and louder.
A second single elimination was started on day 2 with Big Swell still sweeping through the course area.
Better and higher, stronger and longer. One for you and one for me. Harder and tighter, speaker and brighter, straighter and louder. One for you and one for me.
Saraquita and Daida met once more after Laura Trebau failed to barge her way into the final. Ofringa made it 1-1 between her and Moreno with a solid heat, as Moreno floundered and fell. The women's final between Daida Moreno and Ofringa was a unanimous 5-0 decision in Ofringa's favor. That settled the tie between her and Moreno and awarded Ofringa the event win and the tour lead going into the next event in Gran Canaria.
Bigger and faster.
Thank you very much, and I want to thank all the sponsors and the judges who made all of this happen, and competitors. It was a lot of fun, thank you.
Pozo once again hosted a women's-only freestyle event. The off-the-wall conditions are unique and presented the ultimate in both aerial and sliding trickery. 2 full double eliminations were completed.
You got nothing to do, why don't you go out with my dog now and then? Oh, there's nothing wrong about. No, I'm a man with a dog. Oh no, no. I tried to be so smart, but I can't teach my heart. No, no, I tried to be so strong.
Saraquita Ofringa struck early to take the event lead after a stunning performance against 2006 freestyle champion Daida Moreno in the first single elimination final.
It's kinda nice here on the sofa. She told me where I could be, meaning so far there's a...
Since struggling in the first round, Ibaya Moreno dug deep and battled through shoulder pain in a gritty double elimination fight back.
Of course, she said life's not all about money, but without it, she's convinced it's not a half.
In the final, Ofringa and Daida Moreno completed their familiar lineup here on Moreno's territory. Daida came out of the blocks flying as Ofringa fell in a fair bit. But with home advantage showing, there was a resale to decide the winner. Ofringa's composure blossomed, boosted her into the event lead.
No, no, I tried to be so strong, but now she proved me wrong. No, 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 I tried to be so smart, but I can't teach my heart. No, no, I tried to be so strong,
the conditions were quite difficult, and I did my best, and it was close, I think really close, and I still cannot believe I won, so really, really happy.
Oh no.
Sarah Kita launched a grueling 6-heat struggle back up the ladder in the second elimination round, but she finally fell exhausted at the hands of Daida Moreno in the semifinals. There was something different and more motivated about Moreno's approach as she came out with all guns blazing to force a resale in the final against Trevaux. Daida Moreno rightfully topped the podium ahead of Offringa and Trevaux as the ladies' tour headed to neighboring Fuerteventura to hook up with the men for the second event. The men rejoined the ladies for a freestyle frenzy at long-standing tour stop Sotavento on Fuerteventura.
I think for sure Goito is the top favorite.
Yeah, I win the Lanzarote in competition, and because it's my condition there, good win and wave.
But there is so many guys like Donkey, the French, Anthony, Thomas, also Ricardo Campello is very consistent here.
Fuerteventura, the wind is offshore and it's flat when 2 days or 3 days ago, and the Bonaires Windsor guy is sailing good in flat water.
To be honest, I don't know. I think everybody can come since the first round and get to the final.
I couldn't tell which part of him I'm more scared to lose. Your flash, your light.
Hell yes, I want to be a champion.
I've been third to every event. The truth is that there is a lot of tension in this event. Basically, the last secure event we have in freestyle.
I'm tied with Daida right now, so if whoever wins this event will be world champion.
The world title is here in the game, and I think Sarah Kita is starving to get it because she's young, and I'm being also up there too much and too long. And I'm just starving to get it as well because that's the way I am, and I come here to win, and I don't know what will happen because she has pretty strong moves that I cannot really do, and especially on flat water, and we'll see what happens because, you know, at the end it's just a matter of luck because her level is really high, and I'm gonna try to get it as well.
I'm gonna really try my best to finish first. Yeah.
Okay, so my timing.
Single elimination started out in typical Fuerte-style conditions, and spectators could eyewitness amazing moves.
Just trying to dump me.
Oh, the girls and the boys got multiple choice. Either build or destroy. I heard a new voice say a word in the noise. I'm here to enjoy. I said, bam, yes. My baby bought a new dress. She wanted to test me, but trying to impress. Geez, I think not. Turning around, tracing hollers. I heard in the lounge. Sitting my ass down with some of my hands. Mowing the grass, smoking the hash. Hoping to last, to cope with the stress. Nevertheless, my baby's a mess. She hates me. I never told you not to manipulate me. But girl, don't manipulate me. And don't you think that maybe if I play and you can face me, I'm about to hit phase 3. But girl, don't manipulate me. And don't you think that maybe if I play and you can face me, I'm about to hit phase 3. Phase 1, I dig ya, but you don't own me. You're lonely, and you clearly want more than to just bone me. A phase 2, I feel for you, and I wanna give it a shot. See what you got, say you need me alive. Can you hear me breathing? I'm hot. Hell yes, I can. Long as you enjoy eating them up. Taste the cream of the crops. Just say when you need me to stop. We up in the haze a couple of days, boo, but I'm stuck. Don't look like it amaze you. I wanna win up in the phase 2. Girl, don't manipulate me. And don't you think that maybe if I play and you can face me, I'm about to hit phase 3. Girl, don't manipulate me. And don't you think that maybe sincere apologies and honestly, but the one I see is someone unconditionally loving me. You better wear like hella care what your mama thinks that loving each other means. It's bigger to her to sculpt your knees on motherland. So stop bothering about other things than what you feel in your soul. Drop your game, you're hitting the ball. You ain't even hitting the ball. You're only feeling the pain at the end of the foe. You claiming that me hanging up whenever you crawl wouldn't be upsetting at all. Please, girl, don't manipulate me, and don't you think that maybe by playing you can face me? I'm about to hit phase 3. But girl, don't manipulate me, and don't you think that maybe by playing you can face me? I'm about to hit phase 3. But girl, don't manipulate me, and don't you think that maybe by playing you can face me? I'm about to hit phase 3. But girl, don't manipulate me.
Second place. Okay, just 2.
I feel super stoked. It was my first final in a freestyle and also in a wave event. And to be in the winners final, it's super great feeling. And also I'm super stoked to have a close heat, but beat guys like Goito, Antoni, Tomás, and all my heats. All my heats were pretty close, but I tried to be as consistent as I could, and luckily I got through all my heats, and I'm super happy. Right now we're gonna start with the double elimination, which is a chance for the losers in the first single to get back on top again. And I'm gonna wait to face in the final the best guy in the double, and I hope to keep consistent, and I'll do my best to try to win another time.
Double elimination is always about the fight back, and after a dip in form in 2006, Ricardo Campello reverted to the type of sailing his opponents found harder to handle.
I'm not ready to leave.
The upsets continued when Kiritore halted Jose Golito Estredo.
Wandering in solitude, my heart so heavy I can't breathe.
All eyes were then on Campello and Tore to see which one might be able to launch an offensive for the Final Four. The decision was predictably close, and it was the former World Youth Freestyle Champion Tore who took the win and ended Campello's ambitions on a crack at the final. Tore's run at the top gained momentum when Anthony Runes became his next victim. Followed by Gaster teammate Tonky Franz. Tore, aged just 17, then moved on to the next stage against single elimination runner-up Traversa from France. The judges certainly had their work cut out, but it was Tore's time once again to make it to the final and apply pressure on the single elimination winner, Marcilio Brown. The conditions in the final once again favored him, and he predictably racked up the points as Brown stuttered and frequently fell. Under the double elimination format, that meant there had to be a resale to break the tie, and so after a short break, they headed out to do battle for the last time. Brown was 100% more active in this critical and deciding heat. The 18-year-old from Fortaleza, Brazil, got the nod from the judging panel and sealed a famous victory which threatened Estredo's chances of a second world title for the final event in Germany.
Super happy to win the competition because everybody who is here is top freestyler, and since the first hit until the last one, it was pretty hard. I gave my best all the time, and I'm pretty stoked, man. I still cannot believe it, and now I have a good position in the ranking, final ranking, and I train my hardest to try to do well on Zut.
Flatter water conditions were predicted to favor the freestyle specialists like Lori Tribot and Sarahquita Offringa more than 2006 world champ Daida Moreno.
There's no point in holding on.
In the double round, Naria Alonso had struck a solid 4-heat streak together, beating Junko Nagoshi, De Brent, and Sylvia Alba, before she finally fell exhausted to the hands of Laurie Trabeau. After beating Alonso, she challenged single elimination runner-up Ofringa, but failed to make the final.
And at the end of the end of the all we feel is...
The final opened up at a frightening pace. Moreno stuck to the windier parts of the course, and as her assault continued, Ofringa failed to reach her usual high standards. A unanimous decision from the judges awarded the 2006 champion the victory.
Our absolute world champion freestyle, ella es de aquí, por lo tanto con ese ruido y ese aplauso, Daida Cubano.
Saraquita and Laura, which are great sailors on flat water, were also there. You know, it's just for me to compete against girls, young girls like them, especially how the freestyle level is going. It's just to compete and win. It's just a great feeling.
With the women's silver, it was crunch time for the men's freestyler in the volatile German North Sea. The island of Sylt is known for its nice beaches, cold weather, and often stormy and unruly windsurfing conditions.
What would you do if I sang you this song? Would you listen to it thinking it's true? Pack my things, turn around, go on board without you. Whoa.
5 riders were in the hunt for the title, and all 5 advanced through the first 2 rounds. Runis and Tori fell first at the hands of the Franz brothers. Tonky Fran's path of destruction also dented Marcilio Brown's hopes as the Caribbean stylemaster axed the young Brazilian in the semifinals. Brown was left reliant on a double elimination to repair his world title hopes after Ricardo Campello defeated him in the losers final. Another squall blew up for the final to really test Estredo and Franz's skills and stamina. Both riders crashed, burned, and wrestled in the gnarly and choppy conditions. But Estredo took the victory.
Win this competition, and the other guys really closed the point, and now I'm really happy because maybe I am now in the third in the ranking now.
It's not far away, I need a break. Don't feel like I haven't done any great mistake. The water's shitty, think I'm gonna stay. What would you do if lightning strikes you? Would you take your chance? Listen up to me and go your own way home. 'Cause everybody's got its own stuff.
As such, the title race has suddenly become even more intense for the double elimination. Kiri Tori only needed to climb 2 positions to reclaim the trophy for Bonaire. However, if Brown could stop Tori's progress up the ladder, he'd be the new king. The pressure gauge went off the scale in the double elimination during the late afternoon session, which eliminated the final title hopefuls as the light and time faded. But Tori stumbled during his heat. The tension was unbearable as Brasilio faced up to Campello for a do-or-die finale to end the season. If Brown won, he'd have enough points to secure silverware on Silt and become the 2007 Freestyle World Champion.
Does that Cowley up?
Placa for Brasil.
Brasilio's technical tricks and air moves had won him his first world title, aged just 18.
Look,
I cannot believe it. I was pretty nervous in my both heats. First against Paskowski, I tried to do my best. The wind was really gusty. Sometimes I was a little bit overpowered, but in the heat against Ricardo, I pulled a smaller gear. So I was pretty confident with my gear, a little bit nervous, but really concentrated and landed to do some good moves. Not the best heat ever because the condition was kind of hard, but I'm super stoked that I advanced against Ricardo and to be third in this event. And let's see what happens tomorrow and the day after. Hope no more wind.
I've been running almost all of the time just to find you and then make you all mine. Through the deepest nights you got me to light, and now I'm here.
Although Brown had stolen the thunder by taking the world title, the event crown was still up for grabs. So the Last Chance Sunday saw the conclusion of the freestyle double elimination. First up, Brown faded Tonky Franz for a shot at the final against single elimination winner Estrado.
As a kid I never wanted to be like my dad because he just couldn't see.
But an injury in the title-deciding heat handicapped the Brazilian and allowed Franz to feature in the final.
So I went on with my life and tried to give my best and finally made my way through. Lost my fears about failing again, 'cause I found you.
Dazzling display gave Franz no chance in the marginal conditions, and Estrado had salvaged his pride with the event win.
Blood that's running through my veins, like a priest, you saved my life and gave me back the time that I lost. So I said, ooh, baby, I'm the junkie, you're the drug that I need, 'cause I've hungered for your touch, so now please give me as much as you can.
Golito topped the podium a little unsatisfied, but doubtless he'll come back in 2008 harder than ever to challenge Brown for the trophy.
In one hand I got a picture of you, like a gun to shoot me all the way through, 'cause nothing in this world brings me down when I'm with you. Thank you so much for holding my hand, but do never forget to comprehend that I'm just a boy back on his way for 6 time stones. So I said, ooh, baby, you're the blood that's running through my veins, like a priest you saved my life and gave me back the time that I lost. So I said, ooh, baby, I'm the junkie, you're the drug that I need, 'cause I've hungered for your touch, so now please give me as much as you can.
Slalom racing is growing in popularity each season. Using production-only gear, racers must register up to 4 sails and 2 boards at each event to add to the tactical mix. A maximum of 15 races are run using a rolling start out to sea with a fast downwind reach towards the finish line. Each race consists of a series of qualifying heats, typically containing 8 to 12 riders before a final is run to produce a winner. The PWA's first visit to Asia was a firecracker. Ulsan, Korea had an incredible reception from the media, and that certainly helped the 2007 Slalom 42 tour to open with a big bang. From day one, Jinha Beach came up with the goods, immediately serving up wind to get racing started as the battle for the €45,000 prize money got underway.
It's intriguing coming to a new country, especially a country where you're not completely familiar with the language, for one, the culture. And so for us, it's just fascinating coming here and having this experience.
In fact, good wind on the first 4 days allowed 6 full men's races to be completed and 10 women's races in all. 2006 world champ Antoine Albo had a slow start to the year, slipping up some with some risky overtaking moves and premature starts. That allowed Kevin Pritchard of the United States to take the initiative and take 3 race victories compared to just 1 from Albo.
First race of the year, went out there and I got a good start, and that was pretty much all I needed. You know, you just once you get a good start, you just connect the dots and you know, put it together, and made all my jibes. And Antoine was behind me, and you know, he was winning all last year. So anytime you have him behind you is a good sign, that's for sure.
Peter Voltwater of the Netherlands also had a bonus when good awareness let him slip to take race 2 after the entire fleet crossed the line too early. Micah Buzianis emerged stealthily from the shadows to steal 2nd overall after a well-crafted final race win and a consistent string of results. After the last 2 days disappointed, it was Pritchard who took the event win, without a 7th race discard that would have allowed it to be completed. Albo recovered to cement 3rd overall and keep himself in touch with the leaders before the next event in Spain. Karen Yagi struck a lethal blow to any pretenders in the women's contest. With just 1 glitch on her scorecard for a premature start, Yagi steamed to victory in all of the remaining 9 races. But the scrap for 2nd and 3rd was certainly intense between Sarah Hebert and Ayako Suzuki. The pair exchanged 2nd and 3rd places continuously, but eventually Hebert accompanied Yagi on the podium in 2nd, and Suzuki made Japan proud in 3rd. Bay of Roses, site of many famous freestyle and supercross face-offs in the past, hosted the talent of the PWA men's slalom racing fleet. Fluky conditions challenged both patience and skills of the 48-man fleet, and the race director mixed it up with half fleet, quarter fleet, and long distance courses.
So we are in Costa Brava in Spain. It is the first slalom event here in Costa Brava. It's a really nice place. We are just in a campsite just behind the beach. The beach is really nice, and normally here we get sea breeze every day, so we should do a lot of slalom elimination here. And it's a nice place, nice people.
I won the last event in Korea, and from this event it's going to be tough. You know, there's a lot of good guys. You got Micah and Antoine Albo. You got Bjorn Dunkerbeck from Spain, so he's looking to be strong, and it'll be a tough competition.
Korea runner-up Buzianis and Bjorn Dunkerbeck won the first two races. Buzianis kept pole position for an agonizing 3-day wait for the wind to return.
Yeah, it was a pretty good start for me today. We did 2 rounds. I had first in the first and third in the second. I didn't have the greatest in the start in the second round, but I'm still happy to start with a first and a third to any event.
Eventually, there was wind for a classic final day face-off to settle the event title. Cyril Musulmani of France slipped into top gear for the third race over the long-distance course by choosing a comfortable rig setting to cruise home past the overpowered giants.
I was going to make a real fast dive for the first buoy. The dive went pretty good, and I got a gust just as I was sheeting in from the back, which pulled me over, and I went all the way around with my sail and fell in the water. And from there I was pretty much just catching up, and I managed to pass one guy in the end. But it's only the first race, we got plenty more to come, so hopefully the wind is going to stay strong. That will make it more fun.
Albo, celebrating his 35th birthday, immediately muscled his way into the event lead with a crucial race 4 win. The French phenomenon chose a massive 9.0 square meter sail, whilst others struggled on 7.8 square meter sails. The mixed bag of results continued as Pritchard finally restored pride and seized a vital victory in the 6th and final race. The random results and 1 race discard allowed Antoine Albo to take the event title ahead of Buzianis and Dunkerbeck.
First of all, it's going to be windy, so for sure we're going to have a result. And for sure I want to get the first place here in Lanzarote. But I know that I'm not the only one who wants to get the first place, and it's going to be maybe 5 or 6 guys who can manage to go in the first place.
Some epic surf slalom conditions and logo high surf hindered the crew's chances of safely setting a course on the final 2 days. The crowds on the beachside grandstand were thrilled as the Heat streaked through the gnarly waves and back to the finish line in front of them. A variety of results were thrown up, but Bjorn Dunkerbeck came out as the event leader after 4 separate race winners in Micah Buzinis, Dan Ellis, Dutchman Peter Biel, and Dunkerbeck himself. Dunkerbeck wasn't fooling around in the next 3 races and built on his event lead with a further 2 wins. Finian Maynard won race 6 as the stronger wind favored the heavyweights. On day 6, lighter winds meant easier racing, but this didn't exactly favor the big men. Britain's Ross Williams won race 8, and Kevin Pritchard snuck into 2nd overall after victory in races 9 and 10. The final day of nerves started when Dunkerbeck failed to make it out of his semi-final heat. But it was lightweight, light wind specialist Gonzalo Costa-Jovel who won the 11th elimination. The event's lead was left on a knife's edge as even Albo failed to make the final of race 12, and neither did Pritchard. In the rankings, this also intensified the race for 3rd as the final race of the event loomed. There were several restarts and disqualifications, and no less than 5 riders were sent back to the beach for premature starts in the final. Eventually, Dunkerbeck won easily and drove it home ruthlessly all the way to the finish line. A conservative approach from Albo had won him the event despite not winning 1 race. Pritchard ghosted into 2nd overall, and Dunkerbeck was rewarded with 3rd for his efforts.
Yeah, after this event in Lanzarote, it's going to be Gran Canaria and Fuerteventura. So normally Gran Canaria is a high wind slalom, and Fuerte can be medium wind and strong wind. So hope is going to be strong because I'm pretty good in strong wind. So let's see.
Benvenuto a Poso!
The racers got their first start on the 3rd day of the traditional summer showdown. No shortage of super strength wind meant 14 punishing eliminations were completed. Bjorn Dunkerbeck showed form early by beating Albo in the first race in a desperate bid to avenge his defeat at the Frenchman's hands here in 2006. But not wanting to let Dunkerbeck have a key psychological victory, Albo fired in 3 back-to-back race wins to seize the lead back. The race 5 final turned up a few surprises as teammates Ross Williams and Matt Pritchard capitalized on confusion at the first mark to slip past and allow Williams the race win, and Taboo Gastra team boss Matt a 2nd.
It's kind of surprising being as I'm not really doing the whole slalom tour. I just
I just pull out my slalom boards here in Gran Canaria where I know it's pretty windy, and you know it's kind of tricky out there. So I have some experience out there. I think I won back here in 1998. So this is kind of like my home style. I like it.
Albo returned to form, winning the next 2 races, including a magnificent half-fleet race and a challenging mid-distance course snaking into tight reaches near the beachside finish. In the 9th half-fleet race, Bjorn Dunkerbeck gave everyone a lesson on how to compete, as Albo blew out in a pileup at the first mark. The wind was howling by race 10 in typical Pozo style, and that suited Matt Pritchard's motocross style overtaking moves like a glove. Dunkerbeck's fighting spirit was fortified with the extra win, and he made no bones about taking 2 more consecutive race wins here in his own backyard, as the wind readings went through the roof with 40 knots plus. For the 2nd year in a row, the racing title came down to the final race. The tension was rife before the 14th and final race, due to their half-breadth points difference between Albo, Matt, and Kevin Pritchard. No one really pressed the line too hard at the start, and the fleet was all even all the way along the first reach. Race winner Kevin Pritchard, however, was a little more determined, and that shone through as he screamed along every inch of the course to bag the victory. Albo rolled in second to consequently take the Pozo event and strengthen his grip on the Tour lead. Kevin Pritchard's 3rd place for the event slid him into 2nd overall for the year. The women were back in action alongside the men at the Fuerteventura Grand Slam event. The maximum 15 races were run for both men and ladies, and both fleets turned out surprising results. Eventually, Albo got a grip on the event after a late resurgence by Bizinas, who'd suffered early in the week to take the win with 6 victories. Pritchard steered a steady ship to see 2nd overall ahead of Dunkerbeck. Bizinas must have been both pleased and kicking himself that he finished in a credible 4th place after a hat trick of victories on day 4. Antoine Albo wrapped up the event crown and stole the 2007 Racing World title with 3 back-to-back wins on the final day's racing, with 2 events to go.
I feel really happy because, again, on the last day, it was a big battle with Micah, Kevin, and I had to do no mistakes, you know, and all of 3, we didn't have to do any mistake not allowed, you know, and now it's done, it's good.
The ladies' event turned out to be the best women's race event for years and involved a nail-biting final day decider. But Yagi proceeded to send out an early warning shot to any pretenders in the women's fleet after taking 3 of the 4 race wins. At this stage, both Yagi's podium rivals must have thought she was about to repeat her unassailable lead of Sotavento 2006. After missing out on Korea, it was time for last season's surprise package, Valérie Gibaudeau, to show up and make her presence felt. Also intent on spoiling the party were Ibaya Moreno and first-time racer Sarakita Ofringa. Despite Yagi's good start, Gibaudeau clawed her way back into the game, with Yagi accounting for 8 wins and Gibaudeau crossing the line in first on no less than 6 occasions. Yagi topped the podium after a tense 15th and final race on the last day to more or less wrap up the 2007 title with just 1 event remaining. Gibaudeau settled for second, and Ibaya Moreno deservedly took third. Chesme Province's stylish coastal resort welcomed the PWA men's and women's fleets back. Full World Cup status and big-name sponsors allowed a fiesta of competition, and music served parallel to Turkey's Surf and Sound Festival.
Okay, it's great to be here in Alicante. All the top guys are here from the World Cup. Antoine, Kevin, Micah, Finion's here, he won last year, so he should be someone to watch out for. But it's also lots of Turkish guys, so it's going to be an action-packed World Cup here in Turkey, and I hope you guys all enjoy it.
Antoine Albo touched down in Turkey with the 2007 title already secured. Despite the luxury of a stress-free end-of-the-season wind-down in Alicante, he still managed to coast to victory.
Favorites of this event, I think, are going to be Antoine again. I mean, look at his results in the last year. But you know what, Team Holland's been training hard, so watch out. We're coming for your ass.
Over the course of 10 fierce men's eliminations, Albo's error count stayed low, despite a slow start on day 1 when his Neil Pride teammate Peter Beal stepped in and took the early lead. Albo also wobbled with a small blemish in the form of a premature start on day 4 when nearly everyone's results went haywire. In terms of consistency, only Bjorn Dunkerbeck stayed watertight until the last, as he shed only 1 of his low discards after qualifying for all but the critical race 10 final. Kevin Pritchard also showed remarkable character to stay in the frame. He suffered gear failure during a collision on day 1 that negated his race 2 victory, but the gutsy American gritted his teeth to pull himself back into the game over the next 4 days, starting with a crucial win in tricky conditions on day 3 to stay ahead of Dunkerbeck. Dunkerbeck exploded in the quarterfinals on a day when he planned to oust Pritchard from the runners-up spot, but was eventually gifted second himself when Pritchard missed the final. Dunkerbeck's lower discard scores allowed him to leapfrog Pritchard for the runners-up step-up on the stage. Albo, of course, made no mistake in banking a 5th and final race win in their absence to top the podium and take home the winner's trophy. The women's event was always going to be billed as a mouth-watering match between Karen Yagi and the resurgent Valérie Gibaudot. Gibaudot and Yagi were fairly equally matched for speed, but the clear difference was in the Frenchwoman's starting skill. Gibaudot forced the Swiss legend to uncharacteristically push the starts, which resulted in 2 painful disqualifications. The Frenchwoman's superior timing earned her 9 victories from the 15 races completed against Yagi's uncharacteristically meager 3 bullets. Irina Foster recovered well from surgery early in the season to finish consistently high enough to claim 3rd overall. Turkish TV celebrity Kagla Kubat may well show at more PWA events after her impressive 4th place finish, which was grafted through speed and cunning turning skill to entertain the excited local crowds. Gibaudot's victory in Turkey must have cut deep into Yagi, but she had the last laugh by topping the year-end podium once again, becoming world champion in Slalom 42. The weekend crowds were treated to 6 fantastic slalom races for the conclusion to the men's slalom season.
Ready for action.
Team Fanatic's furious featherweight Arnon Dagan took the early lead on a frustrating first day's racing for the big guns.
I had really good speed and I knew I just need to have a good start. And I won the 2 hits before, so it made me confident. And that's it, was good start from the beginning. Steve was pushing a little bit, but then I had some good speed and good first drive, so I could go away and good, I'm happy.
Dunker Beck held his hand up early with a race 2 win, but was unable to build on his form. World champ Albo was initially slow out of the blocks. The Frenchman appeared seemingly lethargic after already sealing the title and allowing Dargan to take the event lead. A 4th place finish in race 3 didn't deter the champ, who went on to destroy everyone else in the final 4 races. Dunker Beck's consistency rewarded him with the 2nd overall victory and sealed 3rd place on the year-end podium. Kevin Pritchard dug deep to record another 3rd overall and a critical 2nd place finish in race 4 to take 2nd overall in the event standings and guarantee him 3rd overall in 2007. Antoine Albo's crucial and lasting psychological triumph will sting his competitors far into next season. Despite winning the title back in July, he failed to lose his grip or take his foot off the gas. And by doing so, it can be said that he clearly deserves the title of world champion in slalom 42. Wave sailing represents the ultimate in windsurfing. The head judge sets heat durations and criteria for jumps and wave rides relative to the conditions. For example, he may count 3 jumps from the 4 categories of forward rotating, backward rotating, straight jumps, or combinations such as push loop forwards, plus each rider's best 2 wave rides. If the wind is light, he may choose to count only wave rides. A heat can last between 6 and 40 minutes depending on the conditions. A maximum of 1 double elimination can be fought. The 2007 Wave Tour had 3 sparkling new additions to the calendar for 6 total events in one of the most legitimate tours ever. Fortune smiled immediately upon the World Wave Sailing Elite as a pumping swell raced towards the Cabo Verde archipelago, hell-bent on unleashing its power upon the shallow ledges of Ponte Preta on the island of Sal.
Pull the shades, go to bed, 'cause the night is over. Like a flag in the wind, you were looking for the fall-leaf over. There's a voice in your head which is telling you to give up. Still be strong and move on, 'cause you know there is nothing you can lose. So let go. Just say hello. Be yourself, 'cause don't you know? Nothing in this world's for free. But soon you will find out and see.
Surf of epic proportions thundered seemingly inches away from the shore at Ponte Preta, and you could almost touch the riders as they flew past on the roller coaster ride of a lifetime. The cream rose to the top for a 4-man single elimination final containing Josh Angulo, Callie Ciotti, Kevin Pritchard, and Nick Baker.
Stay on track, don't look back. Someday soon you will be thankful for these words. Lick your wounds, keep them clean, let the scars heal slowly. Strike a match, burn the past, and again you will be left for free. So let go. Just say hello. Be yourself, 'cause don't you know? Nothing in this world's for free. But soon you will find out and see. 'Cause there's nothing that you can't do. Impossible, just what you fear. So try and it will disappear. 'Cause there's nothing that you can't do.
Ciotti, the 2005 Wave World Champion, dazzled the judges with his twin fin trickery to win ahead of local favorite Angulo after a tense and tactical final.
Stay with me until the sun breaks through the clouds. Nothing in this world.
I had one set in the final, and I was on a 4-0, my small mass, and Nick Baker was watching from the channel. He told me, I thought you were gonna get barreled, It's like, it's pretty big.
Impossible, just what you fear.
yesterday we got right through the single and through the first round of the double elimination. Got Brazilian Caule Ciardi beating Josh Angulo, the local guru at this spot. So he wants to kick some ass today. Josh is up for it. He's been training already. It's only like 8:30 in the morning. So we're going to have a good day today.
Show me how life looks all around the world. Don't wanna die unknown. I wanna travel around the world. Have fun, find friends, stay those roads. I don't wanna grow old in my neighborhood. Cause I see sure I understood. Every day it's just the same and nothing really ever changes. Not just for fame, but for my own. I tend to rearrange. No limits, no rules for me. I live my life, highest degree. Can't stop me. This world is mine, and I'm wanting to become fun.
The biggest fight back came from Jason Polikow, who trashed 6 entire rigs after working his way back up to 4th overall.
I don't have to swallow. Things pissing me off, I shout aloud. Don't wanna waste a single day. I don't care no more. I wanna show you love should be. Don't very just live for feeling free. Yeah, it's out of my way 'cause I'm out of control. Sees every day is my parole. Nothing will ever be the same. Sometimes life is just a game. I have to play. I lose no more. Every day I start to riot. No limits, no rules for me. I live my life, highest degree. Can't stop me. This world is mine, and I don't want it.
Just got past Jason Polikow, pretty friggin' stoked. You know, it was a tough heat for me. I had tons of waves, but it didn't really feel like I was doing what I wanted to do. I got one really nice aerial, which was good, but yeah, I mean, I'm just stoked to get through that heat for sure.
But Angulo had other plans. Local knowledge paid off as he tore apart the peachiest sets, punting huge airs, Disaster struck for Ciardi meeting Angulo in the double elimination final. His choice of a tiny 4.0 sail resulting in a serious trashing on the rocks kept him from advancing. But the rematch simply couldn't have been any closer. Beachside Carnival was silent as the judges' scores were tabulated. A tight 4-3 verdict awarded the victory to Angulo, and jubilation erupted like wildfire. Carried by a tidal wave of fans, Cabo Verde's newest icon was mobbed at the water's edge and swept towards the podium in a frenzy of drums and whistles.
I saw you on a cloud, screaming my name out loud, high up in the sky. You'll never die, I'm here on earth.
show in Estoril in Portugal. It's the third time we've had the competition here. It's the second leg of the PWA for 2007, and we got side onshore winds and pretty good wave.
So you think you can roll me over? It's legal what you're trying to do, if I can prove.
Heats rolled immediately on day one as the new school of windsurfing made their presence felt in the men's single elimination.
The rules are equal, so we make the game and kiss the sinner. You made some moves on over me, well, there's no chance.
The final was a game of chance in a lighter breeze, making jumps very hard to find. Two great semis left 2006 winner Ciati to face hot Spanish talent Victor Fernandez. This time it was Fernandez who played a tactical game, staying upwind to pick off the best ramps and wave rides to earn Fernandez his second career PWA event victory.
I feel stoked because it's the first time I get podium in Guincho. This is my third year, and I never got into the quarterfinal, semi-final or final. And I was sailing good in the final. I had to keep upwind all the time because the wind was light and onshore. And I started with the jumps before and then wave riding, and everything was good.
The Nortada wind also greeted the women for their first competitive outing of the year. 2006 world champion Baya Moreno couldn't match Karen Yagi in the semifinals. That meant there was another classic Moreno versus Yagi final in the fluky late evening conditions, with strong currents obstructing both riders. Yagi matched Moreno on wave scores, but eventually it was Moreno's jump scores which won the favor with the judges and earned her the opening victory of the season.
Today was a bit of a challenge for me. The wind was dead onshore and lighter, and I think we all performed really well, and the heat was really close against Garing, I think. I'll check the results, but I'm pretty stoked to win here the single.
Pozo Izquierdo on the island of Gran Canaria immediately served up a feast of wind and swell for the single elimination of the wave contest. A truly groundbreaking day saw both tour leader Angulo and the current world champion ejected from the ladder.
As far as the world title, of course I'll be trying to win it. My chances are still really good because I'm close to those guys and we have a throwout. Kaoli and Victor are sailing super good. Those guys are two of the very best sailors in the world right now, so it's really anybody's ball game at this point.
Predictably, some of the famous Gran Canarian locals such as Daria Ojeda and Vidar Jensen performed strongly before an historic final between Victor Fernandez and Kaoli Ciati.
Nubi dittature e coercizioni,
That historic clash included perfect double forward loops and the first push loop forward ever witnessed in competition.
Push loop forward, perfeito! Perfeito push loop forward do Cauli, muito bom, muito irado.
That's the second final here with Cauli Siadi, and I'm super happy about this because the second time and the level is so high, and I don't know, I did my best at the end of the heat. The beginning was not so good, and finally I worked out to manage, and I don't know, I wait for the double elimination. Let's see what's going on.
More good waves meant there was no delay in starting the double elimination of the wave sailing event on day 2. Strong comebacks were made by 2006 champ Kevin Pritchard, local hero Marcos Perez, and France's Julien Taboulet. But Siadi and Fernandez stood firm to fight through another final to settle the event title. The conditions were not as good as the first day, but another jumping-oriented final allowed Fernandez to steal his second consecutive event win and second successive Poso crown.
Conditions today, they were very tricky because the wave went down and the wind was also lighter than yesterday. But at the end I was sailing safe in the heat, and I did my best and worked out. Super happy about that.
The women's event also marked a milestone in the sport. It takes more skill than ever before to compete at this level. So perhaps unsurprisingly, it was Poso legends Ibaya Moreno and Daida Moreno who emerged as the finalists.
Desto il terrore sopravventoso dall'ignara nazione che si culla nell'orgia della disinformazione.
Both the twins riffed with sick wave riding, but Daida Moreno took the victory.
I started off trying to jump good, and she also jumped really good, really excited the final, and I think I finally made it 3-2 decision, which it was really close, but I'm still stuck with my first position, and I think my sister's really happy with the second, and I don't know, it's the 10th time I win here in my home spot, and I feel really, really happy about it.
Stunning national park zone of Brazil's Santa Catarina state welcomed the PWA men's fleet for the inaugural visit to this breathtaking nature reserve. and its high-quality surf and round-the-clock breeze.
Having fun was all we want to. Things we've been through on the high school. We never lost what once was so cool.
It became immediately clear that this event would definitely serve up some surprises. After two great semifinals, Kauli Seadi and Levi Seiver emerged as the finalists.
It's so long ago. It seems so
The final was pretty close as both riders started slowly and only sputtered into life late in the 14-minute heat. Seadi only showed glimpses of what he's shown to be capable of in freesailing, but his last wave showed the dynamic style he's famous for, and a perfect goita in the dying seconds clinched a famous victory for the local boy.
Poxa, eu tô super contente, só de estar competindo em casa já é uma benção. Não precisar ter que viajar, estar aqui com toda a família, meus amigos e a galera que começou no Indy comigo. Valeu a força, galera. Valeu.
The double elimination didn't disappoint.
That is what they say. Now I'm missing you.
Victor Fernandez emerged as the most likely candidate after he strung a run of 7 back-to-back heat wins to launch one final assault on the crown. But the 23-year-old's path of destruction ended after a mammoth showdown with Britain's Nick Baker.
Well, yeah, we're here in Brazil, in Ibiraquira, difficult to say. I've come all the way over here from England and been having a great time. We've had awesome windsurfing conditions, it's been sunny every day, we've had wind every day, we've had some good waves. I've managed to come all the way through to the finals, so today we've got myself, hopefully, and Kauli in a final, two-man final. We're waiting for the waves at the moment because they're not too good, and hopefully this afternoon the waves will kick back up and we'll be out there and have a good show and a good time doing it.
The grand finale was finally started on day 4 in front of an excited Santa Catarina crowd with a longer 30-minute heat. Home advantage eventually paid for the Brazilian as he put his expert local knowledge to use to select waves that offered more open face and workable sections. There was no doubt about it in the crowd's minds as to who'd won, as a thong of supporters carried Seadi from the water's edge to the podium before the decision was announced. The judges seemed to agree, and a unanimous 5-0 decision awarded Kauli Seadi the victory.
E deu certo a técnica, pelo jeito. Contente pra caramba de sair campeão numa etapa no Brasil, primeira etapa em Ibiraquera, até hoje tudo profissional. Realização de um sonho, estar aqui com todos os amigos, essa vibração aqui.
Both wind and surf were scarce in Germany, and a narrow window of wind and waves allowed the women's fleet a valuable chance to complete their wave sailing single elimination on day 4. The early heats progressed without drama until local favorite Steffi Wall caused a major upset when she defeated tour leader Daida Moreno in round 2.
Im ersten Lauf musste ich gegen Silvia fahren, im zweiten gegen Daida und ich habe gewonnen. Das war eh schon mal der Hammer, von daher fand ich das schon total geil.
The second round also saw Alonso take her first major scalp in the form of Karen Yagi, who sailed to her normal high standards, but on this occasion was simply outclassed by Alonso, who looked untouchable with her aggressive approach. To maximize time in the fading North Sea conditions, the organizers opted for a 4 women's final between Yuko Nagoshi, 2006 world champion Ibaya Moreno, Alonso, and local favorite Steffi Val. Alonso continued her good form in the final, along with fellow Gran Canarian rival Ibaya Moreno. Val was also looking dangerous, but like Nagoshi, her work rate was lower, and after Moreno fell a couple times, it wasn't long before the onlookers were convinced they were seeing a well-deserved victory. Alonso's vertical, destructive attack was unequaled, and she took the win with a 6-1 verdict for a valuable career-first event win.
I feel unbelievable. I feel super happy. I feel I'm gonna cry. I think about my mom, my family, my friends. I think about my boyfriend the most, and I don't know. I'm so happy. I still don't believe it.
Zilt marked the end of the Women's Wave Tour for the season. Karen Yagi took bronze. Daida Moreno finished in 2nd overall, and winning the title for a 2nd consecutive season was Ibaya Moreno.
I feel really good. I mean, it's another dream come through. It was a pretty tough year. We didn't have many events, but at the end it came out that I became world champion, so I'm very happy. This is the best thing for me that could happen, and I'm very stoked.
Sadly, the wind didn't play ball for the men, and the title race intensified for the final event in Scotland. A unique roaming event on the remote, exposed Scottish island of Tiree gave a striking end to the season. The points race was tight and the pressure rested firmly on Tour runner-up Victor Fernandez. Topping the leaderboard was Brazilian Kauli Siadi, the 2005 Wave World Champion and winner of the last event in Brazil.
This is our last event here in Tiree, Scotland, and we are pretty close, me and Victor Fernandez, on the title this year. We've been pretty much all the events, like kind of, always matching each other.
I have to win the contest to win the title. It's the first time I am so close to the title.
But as the holding period began, the raw Atlantic coastline of Tiree lay dormant and calm as the world's best wave sailors waited for suitable conditions. A lack of surf, but some breeze on day 2 sprung the organizers into action, and drink sponsor Go Fast Energy tossed in $750 for an expression session that was won by Victor Fernandez for his corkscrew.
There was a love
Several days followed of waiting patiently for forecasts that never quite delivered the goods. Like so often before, the clock ticked down to the final day, right with the arrival of some solid surf. Glassy logo-high waves rolled in at Balvelin, but still everyone's nerves were tested as several heats were cancelled each time the wind dropped and each precious daylight hour passed by. As darkness beckoned, Fernandes' hopes of defeating the Brazilian completely vanished. The 23-year-old from Almeria could only watch as the first heat of round 3 was cancelled and the head judge called off the competition.
That's it. Out of time. Out of wind.
Newly crowned world champion Kauli Siadi was carried by his friends and countrymen and unceremoniously dumped into the shore break before he headed out for a triumphant free sail to celebrate. With Kauli Siadi winning the title and Victor Fernandes solidly in second, the points were added up and the third and final podium position was awarded to Josh Angulo of Cabo Verde. Siadi produced something special this season, and his dynamic style is almost unmatched. His second world title, aged just 24, is certainly impressive, and he'll no doubt be a major threat to all in 2008. His title is also of extra note as the season tested the riders in a wide range of conditions to really iron out a most worthy champion.